What is up, comic book fans, readers, collectors, cover lovers? Everyone is welcome here at Nerdy Geeks Comics, no matter how you collect. Today is Wednesday, December the 24th, 2025, and I am going to be doing my top covers of the year for this year. Now, this is my taste and my covers. I am by no way saying these are the best covers and that you should love these covers. I'm just saying these are my picks. Now, this isn't going by value. This isn't going by how sought after these covers. These are just the covers that I either picked up or wanted to pick up, and that's it. That's the only metrics it was. Did I like it? Yes. Then it's on my list. And it is quite a list that I have. I didn't want it to be too crazy of a list, so I originally said, okay, let's do maybe the top 50. Okay, let's do the top 75. It ended up being 78. I think I ended up having 78 covers on there, so you can tell that these aren't all going to be fantastic covers in your eyes, but they're the ones that I really liked. There are artists that I really liked. And at the end, I'm also going to pick my top artist of the year based, again, on my personal opinion and also by the amount of covers of theirs I actually have on this list. So, see who that is. Go ahead and skip to the end. You'll see who it is. If not, if you're willing to wait through the slides, I'm going to try and go through them fairly quickly. I'll let y'all have a good look, at the covers, and I'll have the title of the book and then the artist who did it. I worked hard on these slides. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get to the list. Welcome to Nerdy Geeks Comic Book Gallery. This is my top covers of 2025. For all the cover lovers, I hope you enjoyed this video. So just so y'all know, these aren't going to be in, ascending or descending order of my favorite covers. They're just going to be my favorite covers of the year, but they're not going to be specifically, the first one isn't my least favorite and the last one isn't my top favorite. I just try to separate them. Of course there's going to be a lot of good girl art type covers, but I didn't want to have 10 or 15 of those in a row. So I did try and make sure that they're separated, every 2 or 3 covers. Also, if you want to see my definitive list for my top 10 covers of the year, tune in to Kingdom of Nerds this Sunday, and we're going to be doing our top 10 covers each, and there you will see what my top 10 covers are from 10 to 1. I did end up picking them for there, but here these are my favorite covers of the year. And again, this isn't monetary value wise, this isn't what the most sought after ones were. These are, in my personal opinion, what I thought were the best covers of the year. So if you don't agree, no worries. If you do agree, great. You have good taste, in my opinion. But also, I worked really hard on these slides, guys. I hope I made these slides a lot more engaging, because I went away from my standard, cover, black screen, and text. I tried to make this, a lot more aesthetically pleasing. So, leave me a comment. Let me know, hey, Nerdy, great job on the slides. Everything looked great. Good job. Or you can leave me, hey, Nerdy, you wasted 3 days of your life for nothing because these slides were trash. Either one is fine. One will make me happy. One will make me cry. You pick which one you want to do. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get to my list of the top covers for this year. So first off, we have Supergirl #2. This cover is by Ivan Talavera. And if you've been watching my FOC and my new comic book day hauls and my Snail Mail Sunday videos, you know Ivan Talavera is one of my favorite artists. I picked up a ton of his covers this year, and I believe this was a 616 Comic Traders exclusive. This was a full set of this trade. There was a Virgin variant, and then there was a Virgin variant that had like a yellow goldish background. I did pick up, an entire set. I actually have a few of the sets because I forgot that I ordered and I kept ordering some more. But a great Supergirl cover right here by Ivan Talavera. Here we have Action Comics #1. We have the facsimile edition. This cover was done by Dan Mora. This came out right around the time of the Superman movie that came out earlier this year. Just a great homage to the original Action Comics. We basically have the exact same cover, the same pose, but of course we have the modern costume that showed up in the movie. And of course this looks a little bit more like David Cornsweat. So really great cover by Dan Mora right here. Next up, we have Psylocke, issue #3. This cover was done by Pablo Villalobos, and this is a fantastic cover by Pablo. Pablo was one of my favorite artists of last year. Last year, he just kept putting out great work all year long. The Psylocke right here is fantastic. And then her psionic powers just, taking up the rest of the space all behind her, really bring this cover together. Fantastic cover by Pablo Villalobos right here. Here we have a Vampirella Holiday Special. This just came out a week or two ago, and this is by an artist that I don't know too much about, Selena, but I am really going to start paying attention to her covers because this is a fantastic cover. I mean, if you look at it at first glance, this almost looks like it could be a cosplay cover, but it's actually her artwork. And I love the playfulness of the Jack in the Box with the skull. And instead of just being jaw dropping, the jaw literally breaks off at the sight of Vampirella. Really great cover, really fun cover. And Selena is definitely going to be an artist that I'm really going to start paying attention to from now on. Next, we have Dead Samurai #4. This cover is done by Jonathan Uribe. So Dead Samurai is a series that has had a lot of fantastic covers. Like, if you're not picking this up, really fantastic artwork on this entire series. I mean, how can you go wrong with zombies and samurais? And here you have a zombie samurai. Kind of gives you a Ghost Rider vibe with the chains in the background. Really fantastic cover. This series has had a ton of great covers. The A covers and then the incentive covers have been really fantastic. So if you're not picking it up, go check them out. Maybe you'll pick up something you haven't seen and that you like, because there have been just a lot of great covers with this series. Next up, we have Exquisite Corpses issue #7. This cover is by Carla Cohen. Carla Cohen is by far one of my favorite artists out there right now. She does her artwork by painting it on canvas, and that's how she does her covers. Really great artwork. This is, of course, the Fox Killer from Exquisite Corpses. This character has appeared in probably more covers of Exquisite Corpses than any other character. Really fantastic cover right here. I was able to pick up a few of these because I believe these were the Singapore Comic-Con exclusives, but they did release a few here in the US, and I was able to pick a few of them up. Next up, we have X-Men #10. This is a great magic cover by Lucho Parillo. And if you don't know, Carla Cohen and Lucho Parillo are husband and wife. They're both the same type of artist. They both do paintings for their covers, and you can just tell how talented they are. I mean, look at you can see each individual hair strand in that, and these are all hand painted. Just a fantastic cover of magic right here. I do have a couple of copies of this. This was, like I said, a MegaCon exclusive, and I did go to MegaCon this year for the very first time. It was a fantastic trip. I will be going back next year, and I did pick up a couple of these and did get one of them autographed by Lucho. So really awesome cover right here by Lucho Parillo. Next up, we have Star Trek Defiant number 22. This cover is by Takashi Okazaki. Really fantastic cover right here, guys. I'm pretty sure that this is just pencil and inks. And what an amazing cover this is, guys. This artwork is so fantastic. Sometimes when you just have, the pencil and ink covers without the color, somehow it makes the artwork even better and more detailed, and this is absolutely one of those. And believe it or not, yes, I am a Trekkie, but I have quite a few Star Trek covers on there because Star Trek upped its game this year and they had a lot of really fantastic covers. And I'm not sure, but I want to say there's at least 5 or 6 on here on my list, surprisingly. So this one is one I don't have. I know this was going for a pretty good price when it first came out. It was a 1 in 10 incentive, I believe, but I need to check what the prices are on these now, because if it's come down, I'm definitely gonna want to hunt this one down. Here we have Rogue the Savage Land number 4. This cover was done by Ivan Talavera. This is the Virgin variant. There was also a trade dress variant. This is a fantastic cover. So you're gonna see a few Rogue covers this year, because when they came out with this Savage Land series, it felt like every artist wanted to do their rendition of Rogue in the Savage Land, and there were a ton of fantastic covers. This was my favorite cover that Talavera did for Rogue the Savage Land. I think this was the only one he did. I think he might have done another one, I'm not sure. But this was a great cover. Rogue looks strong. She looks beautiful. She's got her spear ready to go hunting. I love the waterfall in the background. I love the pterodactyls or pterosaurs or whatever you want to call them up in the sky. Really fantastic cover. I do have this one in the Virgin and in the trade dress, and I'm happy to have it. Next up, we have Cherry, issue number 24. And I believe this was a maybe a Heroes Con exclusive. I'm not quite sure, but it was one of those con exclusives. It sold out. It was by far, or at least at the time, it was by far the most popular cover at the con. They completely sold out. They were going for big money. This is, of course, by the amazing Jenny Frison. I have not kept up with the prices on these. This is one that I'm going to have to chase down. Hopefully the price on these has gone down. If not, I'm not sure how much I'm willing to pay for it, but it is a fantastic cover by Jenny Frison right here. Up next, we have the first of what is going to be many The Amazing Spider-Man covers. Here we have issue number 18 by the incredible Lee Bermejo. This cover is a fantastic homage to the death of Gwen Stacy. Lee Bermejo has been doing a lot of these Amazing Visions variants, for the Amazing Spider-Man. All of them have been fantastic. The Green Goblin up there, Spidey, Gwen here, looks really fantastic. Awesome cover. I don't remember if I did pick up the Virgin of this, but I do know that I do have the trade dress for sure. Up next, we have X-Men number 11. This one is done by Joshua Swaby. Fantastic cover of Magic right here, guys. Magic looks awesome, but what really sells this cover is all the demons that are surrounding her. This was another one that came in a Virgin and a trade dress variant, but I love the look of these demons. They're not only are there a ton of demons around here, but if you look at them, they all have a different face. You don't see demons, you don't just see like 1 or 2 faces. All of them have a unique look to them. Really great detail in that. Really fantastic artwork. A real creepy cover. Really love this one. Next up is another series that you're going to see a lot of coverage from because Hello Darkness is just one of those series that artists just seem to love to do. So here is issue number 16 by Ryan Brown. And this is a very creepy cover of what appears to be an exorcism happening, but the demon does not seem to mind too much because it has that creepy grin on it. It's obviously floating off of the floor, only being held down by the ropes that are tied to the ground. Really great cover right here. And when you really look at it, I can't tell if the nuns are trying to exorcise the demon out of the girl, and now the demon's starting to attack them, because if you look at them, they look kind of demonic too. Or are these nuns demons themselves trying to get a demon inside of this girl? I have no idea, but it is a really creepy cover. Really happy that I was able to pick a few of these up. Up next, we have Giant Size X-Men number 2. This one is also done by Ivan Talavera. Again, Ivan Talavera is one of my favorite artists, and this year he put out a ton of great work. This Magic looks fantastic. She looks like she's ready to go to battle. Her sword looks like it's starting to manifest right into her hands. And I love how they have the contrast of, the dark image, the dark coloring all around her, the red and yellows from the fire, the black and the grays of the smoke, and yet her eyes are the only thing that has any blue tint to them, and they just look like they are glowing. And if you actually picked up this cover, it does look like they're literally glowing right off the page. It's amazing work done by Ivan Talavera. Again, this was one that had a virgin and a trade, and I did pick up both, and I'm really happy I did. Of course, I was going to have an Absolute Batman number 15 on here. How could you not? This issue probably had over 20 different variants. Not all of them were open order, but a lot of store exclusives, but still. This Absolute Joker is something we had all been waiting for. And by this being on my top covers of the year, this doesn't mean that was the best cover that was out there. It's just the one that I chose. It's the one that stood out to me. That creepy grin, those teeth, just really fantastic artwork by Ben Oliver right here. And of course, you still have, the green tinted hair and what almost looks like clown makeup on them. Really great cover right here. I did pick this up, so I'm really happy that I did, but just a fantastic cover by Ben Oliver. Next, we have another entry by Hello Darkness. This is issue number 14 by Miguel Mercado. Really fantastic cover right here, guys. If this one is more into the details, like when you really look at it, where she's playing the strings, instead of the normal holes that we see in a guitar, there are mouths that are down there. That's really creepy. Up at the top of the neck where you see that she would be tuning the guitar, there are fingers that are sticking out up there. And then in the background, if you look, the speakers are actually what I'm guessing are like souls of people, and their mouths are the speakers. Really great cover. There was also a 1:10 virgin ratio. I did pick up both of these, the regular trade and the virgin, and they're fantastic covers by Miguel Mercado. Up next, we have Bring On the Bad Guys, Green Goblin number 1. Another amazing cover by Lee Bermejo. Fantastic cover right here, guys. The Green Goblin looks very menacing. All we see of Spidey is his hands ready to fire his web shooter. This is just a fantastic cover. I don't know if Lee Bermejo paints his covers like Carla Cohen and Lucho Parillo does. It looks like he does, but I don't know if that's how he does it or if he's a digital artist. But this is a fantastic cover of the Green Goblin by Lee Bermejo. Next, we have all new Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 3. This cover was done by Lucho Parillo. This was one of the Marvel Zombie variants that Marvel was putting out whenever they were releasing their Marvel Zombie series. Fantastic cover right here, guys, of a zombified Spider-Gwen. You can see her face is already rotting away. Her hands look like she's just torn through somebody. She's got blood all over them. Really fantastic cover here by Lucho Parillo. Next up is All-Star Comics number 58. This one is done by the fantastic Alexander Lozano. Really fantastic cover of Power Girl right here, guys. So Alexander Lozano, I don't know if y'all been following him all this time or if this is just somebody that I just learned about, but it felt like he just appeared out of nowhere this year and just started putting out fantastic cover after fantastic cover. And here is one of the examples. This is a great Power Girl cover right here, breaking out of the chains. And then if you notice, because I didn't notice the first time, the broken chains actually spell out Power Girl right there on the cover. Really fantastic cover by Alexander Lozano right here. Next up, we have Marian Heretic, issue number 1. This is, of course, by the amazing Jenny Frison. So here we have a fantastic cover by Jenny Frison. This, I believe, was a exclusive at a con. I don't remember which con it was. I have read the first 2 issues of this. I have been enjoying it, but I feel like the story needs to get a little bit more compelling to keep me reading, but I will go ahead and pick up issue 3. But this series has had a lot of fantastic covers, and this is just one of the great examples of it by Jenny Frison. Up next, we have Star Trek Red Shirts, issue number 4 by Chris Sheehan. So, as I said, we're going to have a lot of Star Trek covers on this list. It is not just because I'm a Star Trek fan, you know, a self-proclaimed Trekkie, but these covers deserve to be here. Star Trek is not a series that is highly collected, but this series had so many amazing covers. People actually started picking these up, and these were starting to show up in the top 10 lists for the comics of the week. And that just shows you how fantastic these covers are. All the cover A's by Chris Sheehan were amazing. There were also a lot of 1 in 10 variants that were really fantastic. And this is just the first example of the amazing covers by Chris Sheehan for the Red Shirt series. Next up, we have Pop Kill issue number 1. So Pop Kill is one of those series that just everybody wanted to make a cover. All the great artists did a rendition, at least 1 or 2 of the Pop Kill covers. You had greats like Adam Hughes, J. Scott Campbell, Lucho Parillo, Carla Cohen, and then Will Jack, of course, just put out 2 variants for every single issue that came out, and then also did a 4th of July special cover, a Christmas special cover, Halloween special covers. And it's just one of those series that everybody wanted to take their shot at and making a cover for. And this one was actually a very limited print run by Andreas Cruz. I've actually never heard of this artist. I don't know anything about them other than this cover, but I actually saw this on Instagram, and then the day I saw it is like a day or 2 after it was released. And then I went to eBay to try and see if I can find any copies, and one had just sold for like around $75. And since then, and I want to say this was 2 months ago, I have not seen one issue pop up on eBay, because I want to say this was limited to somewhere around 50 to 100 copies, and that's it. So evidently everyone who picked up a copy is holding on to it. I keep looking it up on eBay, trying to see if somebody puts one up, but I just have not been able to come across one. But this is just fantastic pinup art right here by Andreas Cruz. Really awesome cover. Hopefully I'm able to get a hold of these one of these days. Next up, we have Mark Spears, The Monster and the Wolf, issue number 1. So this, of course, was the big line bag that came out this year by Mark Spears that everybody was buying. I even fell into it and bought over 200 blind bags, hoping to pick up one of the golden tickets, but alas, it did not happen. I really didn't pick up anything special. In all those covers, I actually got about 30 or 35 of the same 2 covers, and they weren't even the good covers. So Whenever his Christmas covers came out, I just decided to pick up 10 and that's it. Everything else I'll just pick up on the secondary market because since they're printing so many of these, I'm sure I'll be able to pick them up at cover price or less. But this was the 1 in 250 ratio that I did pick up from Riverbend Comics, and I'm really glad I did because this was by far my favorite cover that came out for this series or for this issue. Really amazing zombie samurai or skeletonized samurai right here. It is a foil cover, but it is one of the foil covers that's done very well where you can still see the fantastic artwork. Really happy I was able to pick up this cover. Great job by Mark Spears right here. Next, we have Vampirella Armageddon, issue number 3. This cover was done by Francesco Mattina. Really fantastic cover right here, guys. So, in total honesty, I love werewolves. Werewolves are by far my favorite cryptids. I love werewolf movies. I love werewolf covers. And that werewolf back there just looks menacing and fierce. I love the amber glowing eyes on it. Really great looking werewolf. Wish we could have gotten, more of it in the cover, but what we did get was still fantastic. And then of course we still have Vampirella there looking amazing with her eyes glowing red. She's got her fangs out. She's got blood coming down her chin. Really fantastic cover right here by Francesco Mattina. Next up, we have G.I. Joe, issue number 3. This was another MegaCon exclusive by Rose Besh. Fantastic cover right here. We have the Baroness. Really fantastic cover. So when I went to MegaCon, this was one of the covers that I wanted to make sure I was able to hunt down. And I did find Rose Besh's table and I did pick this up. Really happy I did because this is just a great cover by Rose Besh. Here we have Transformers issue number 25. This cover was done by Suspiria Vilches. Really fantastic cover, guys. So this was an NYCC exclusive, but you could only pick this up if you bought the blind bags. So unfortunately, I was not able to attend NYCC. We had hoped we were going to be able to, but it just didn't work out. But I was able to pick this up on eBay, about a month or so after the con, and the prices did come down on it. So I was able to pick it up at a pretty decent price. I haven't checked in a while, but I'm going to go back on there and see if I can find it at, around the same price or less. And if I can, I'll probably pick up a few more copies because everyone loves Soundwave. He's arguably everyone's favorite Transformer. Just the design of him, the sound design they did of him in the cartoon, the tape decks of Laserbeak that would come out of him, and I forget the dog's name, but fantastic design on Soundwave right here. And I would love to have a few more copies of these if I can get my hands on them. Next up, we have another Hello Darkness. This is issue number 17, and this is another fantastic cover by Jenny Frison. So this cover actually came out today. Really great artwork right here, guys. I love the red background. I love the red of her eyes. I love how it contrasts with, the pale purple of her skin. Really great cover. And then, of course, we have the eyeball with, all the tissue still attached to it. Really creepy, but really fantastic cover here by Jenny Frison. Next up, we have Batman Static Beyond number 2, and this cover was done by Raza. Really great cover right here, guys. I am not the biggest Batman Beyond fan, but this cover that Raza did, I love the contrast between the blue color of Static's logo, and then you have on the bottom the red coming from Batman Beyond. It's just an amazing contrast of the two different colors and looks fantastic. Next up, we have Rogue Storm issue number 1, and we have another entry by Ivan Talavera. So this series specifically, issue number 1, every cover was amazing. It seems like all the artists wanted to make sure they gave Storm her due. All the covers were really fantastic. This one was by far my favorite, and Storm here just looks beautiful and powerful You got the lightning effect. You got the snowstorm surrounding her down there. Really great cover. Now, I'm going to say something that some people might find controversial, but I feel like this cover would have been a lot better if Rogue wasn't on it with her. And don't get me wrong, Rogue is one of my favorite X-Men. I love to collect Rogue covers, but this cover is all about Storm. I really hope that we would have gotten a variant cover where they took Storm out and we just had, they took Rogue out and we just had the Storm on there. But either way, this is still an amazing cover by the incredible Ivan Talavera. Next up, we have the Incredible Hulk, issue number 30. This cover was done by Kyle Hotz, and this was a 1 in 25 ratio cover. And I really love this cover. They went with the horror theme, and I am all in on it. He looks like he's in a cave. He's surrounded by bats. He's got the skulls down at his feet, and he looks like a cross between the Hulk and the Beast, and I am here for it. This is a fantastic cover. I was able to pick up one of these. I don't know what the value of these are. I didn't pay a lot for it. I paid less than ratio for it, but I need to go check, because if I can pick up a couple other copies of this, I would be really happy to have them. Amazing job here by Kyle Hotz. Here we have another Rogue, the Savage Land. This is issue number 5 by J. Scott Campbell. So J. Scott Campbell did all the cover A's for the Rogue, the Savage Land series, and then they also made Virgin variants of them. But apparently J. Scott Campbell really liked doing Rogue in the Savage Land dress, because he was covers on his, and is one of them. This is actually a landscape cover, but there's also another variant of this, which is a wraparound cover. So, you know, if you want to go pick it up, I don't know if they still have any, but go pick up whichever one you like. But this was an amazing cover by J. Scott Campbell right here. Here we have Something is Killing the Children, issue number 43. And this cover was done by Miguel Mercado. Really fantastic cover right here. We have Erica Slaughter in the diner. Looks like having a deep conversation with Octo, or maybe just passed out from, doing her work. She's got her blade down there sitting on the booth. And as we know, this is what she likes to do whenever she goes to a town. She likes to find a diner, set up at a booth, as she did in the Archer's Peak. And this is a fantastic cover. I don't know where this one actually comes from. I'm guessing this may have been either a web store exclusive or maybe a con variant, because I don't remember seeing this on open orders for FOC, because I would have absolutely picked it up. So this is one that I am going to have to go and hunt for, because I really like this cover by Miguel Mercado. Next, we have The War, issue number 3. And this one is done by Rico Murakami. Really fantastic artwork right here, guys. So I am not reading this series. I don't know anything about it other than this cover and of course the title. But when I saw this, I want to say this was a 1 in 10 ratio. I knew I had to pick this up. So I do recognize that name, because I feel like I have tried to pronounce it before, putting it on some FOCs, but I'm not too familiar with the artist. But after seeing this cover, I'm going to go back and check out what else this artist has done, because this is a fantastic cover. Here we have Poison Ivy, issue number 36. This is done by Gabriel Del Aro. Really fantastic cover of Poison Ivy right here. She's got her victims in the leaves, in the ivy, if you will. You can see that they've been skeletonized, as if the ivy consumes it and turns it into nutrients for Poison Ivy right here. Really beautiful cover. I also like that it's kind of an homage to the Homer, phasing in and out of the hedges. Really great cover. Of course, this is Poison Ivy number 36. You can go look at issue 1 through I think they're at 38 right now. And all of them have 1 or 2 fantastic covers. This one is one of my favorites of the year, and it's also a really good read. You don't get to 36 issues of Poison Ivy if you don't have a good story, but this one has actually been a pretty decent read for me. I haven't completely caught up. I'm still in the late teens, but Really fantastic cover here by Gabriel Delalo. Next, we have Absolute Batman issue number 13. Another fantastic cover by Jenny Frison. Of course, this is the cover, or this is the issue of Absolute Batman that just exploded because everybody was ready to see the Absolute Catwoman, and there was a ton of great covers for this issue. I don't remember how many variants there were. I probably could have put at least 10 different covers from this specific issue on here because of all the artists who wanted to do their version of the Absolute Catwoman. And here we have one by Jenny Frison, who did a fantastic job. Next up, we have Essentia, issue number 29. This cover is by Lucho Parillo. And this, of course, is the infamous cover that if you pre-ordered this back in the original FOC, which was sometime around August or September of 2024, well, you didn't get this until October of 2025, over a full year later. I have no idea what happened with this. I have no idea why it was delayed so long. I didn't notice any major changes of the artwork or anything, but this is a fantastic cover. We have Ronald McDonald being assassinated by Big Boy. This is a wraparound cover, so if you go to the other side, you have Kermit on there. There's Fozzie and Gonzo and a couple of other characters that I can't quite remember, all assassinating Ronald McDonald right here. It's a really great cover. There were a few different variants. So there was also one where the Essentia was in red, and then they're wearing togas because, of course, it's an homage of the assassination of Julius Caesar. And then there was a virgin variant. And this company, I've never really heard of them, Wake Entertainment. But if you pick up their books, they are fantastic quality. I wish every comic publisher did the same quality that Wake Entertainment did, because their books are fantastic. Next, we have Hello Halloween number 1. This cover was done by Flops, and I don't remember if this was just a web store exclusive or if it was a con exclusive or what was going on with it. I do know I was able to pick up a couple of copies of it, and this was an amazing cover right here. Of course, this is a Hello Darkness cover, but they changed it to Hello Halloween. Fantastic cover by Flops. It's also a glow-in-the-dark cover, and it's one of the better glow-in-the-dark covers, actually. So, really great cover here by Flops. Next up, we have Zatanna, number 5. Another cover by Alexander Lozano. Really great cover here of Zatanna coming out of her bunny costume. She's got the bunny rabbit with the wand down there. She's coming out of the hat. Really fun cover here by Alexander Lozano. Here we have another The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 12 by the legendary Lee Bermejo. Fantastic cover right here. You have Spidey and Doc Ock just breaking through the walls high up in the New York skyline, as in the background you can see the top of other high rises. So obviously they're way up there. Fantastic cover. As we know, the best fight of Spidey and Doc Ock take place way up in the buildings. Fantastic cover. It's got a really classic look to it, and just a fantastic cover by Lee Bermejo. As I said earlier, I could have picked 10 different covers of Absolute Batman number 13, and they all would have been well deserved on this list. But this one is the cover by Mark Brooks with another fantastic variant cover of Absolute Catwoman. And this time you get to see her eyes, because in the Jenny Frison one, she was covered completely by the mask. Really fantastic cover right here, guys. Unfortunately, by the time I learned about this and went to go try and pick it up, they were completely sold out. So this is one I'm gonna have to hunt down on the secondary market. Hopefully they're not going for too much, because I would really love to pick one up. But a fantastic cover here by Mark Brooks. Next up, we have Star Wars Boba Fett Black, White, and Red number 1. This cover was done by Kari Andrews, and this is a fantastic cover right here. So here we have Boba Fett. It almost looks like a photo negative, I love that he's all in white, and then you have the red highlights with the black background. Really fantastic cover. So this was actually the 1 in 100 virgin variant that was pre-selling for over $170 at the time. So I did not pick this up, but they did have a trade dress variant that I was able to pick up. I haven't kept up with the price on this. I have no idea what it is currently right now, but I'm gonna have to go check and see what they're going for right now, and maybe I can pick one up at a decent price. Next up, we have Something's Killing the Children. This is a monster hunter walks into a bar, #1, and this cover was done by Ito. And I'm gonna guess that this was a web store variant or a con exclusive, because I do remember pre-ordering this series, and I don't remember seeing this on open orders. So this must have been either, like I said, a con or a web store cover. And Ito is one of those artists that really started jumping out to me this year. I don't know quite how new they are. I don't know if Ito's a guy or a girl, so I'm just going to refer to them as they, them for right now, because this cover is just a fantastic cover. And you'll see some more Ito down the line, and you'll see why I'm going to try and start picking up more Ito covers. Next, we have the next installment of a Star Trek cover. This is Star Trek The Last Starship, issue #3. This cover was done by Raza. Fantastic cover right here, guys. Looks like we have a bunch of Klingons wearing Starfleet uniforms. You have Captain Kirk in there. I haven't read this series yet. I have been picking it up. It's just not one that has been on the top of my stack to read first. I will get to it, but we have a great cover of Kirk right here. Raza did a fantastic job putting a young Kirk in here. And I don't know what's going on here, because as far as I know, Worf was the first Klingon in Starfleet, and that would have been, well over 80 to 100 years after Kirk. So this really has me intrigued into reading the series and seeing what's going on. I'm sorry, Absolute Batman #13. This cover is done by Ivan Talavera. Like I said, this issue I could have put a ton of different covers on, but I didn't want to overload it. But this is already the third one that's shown up. But of course, I had to put the fantastic cover by Ivan Talavera. And now we get to see all of Absolute Catwoman without the helmet, so really fantastic cover. And if you know Ivan Talavera work, just like Jenny Frison, he does an amazing job with his characters' faces, and he did just a beautiful job right here. Great cover by Ivan Talavera. Of course, I had to get a Scotty Young cover in here. Scotty is one of my favorite artists. He's one of the more popular artists out there. And when Deadpool Batman came out and they had this on open order, of course I had to pick it up. My favorite Scotty covers are the ones where he has more than one character on the cover, and it's a complete cover with background and everything. And I just love this scene of you have a brooding Batman's, arched up there. You have Deadpool just annoying the hell out of him as he managed to get his logo on half of the bat signal. Really great cover here by Scotty Young. Here we have another entry of Hello Darkness. This is issue #15 by Sveta Sherbina. This is the New York Comic Con exclusive, thus the Hello New York down there. And Sveta Sherbina is an artist that I had never heard of until this year. She just exploded onto the scene with her ratio covers from Pinup Apocalypse. And then as the year went on, she started doing more work. And those Pinup Apocalypse ratio covers that she did were going for really big money. Their prices have started to come down to earth, but most of them are still going for at least double, if not triple ratio. So if you were able to pick up every ratio she had for Pinup Apocalypse, congratulations, because that was a very highly sought after book. And it still is, but really hard to get. But here we have a great example of Sveta Sherbina's pinup style art. Next, we have Everything Dead and Dying, issue #1. This cover was done by Jacob Phillips. Jacob Phillips is not an artist I am familiar with, but this cover is just so beautiful and haunting at the same time. So this cover actually just, exploded during New Comic Book Day when it released. If you didn't have this on FOC and you didn't go on New Comic Book Day, more than likely you missed out, because this book sold out almost immediately, at least all around me. And a lot of people I talked to were trying to find covers of it. I actually was not able to pick this up. I did pick up the second print that they had that looked like an old book cover, but it still had this artwork, in the middle of it. Just a really haunting image right here of the zombified cow. You have the rancher down there, just trying to make a living still despite what's going on all around him. And then you have the beautiful scenery in the background right there. Really fantastic job by Jacob Phillips on this by Star Trek. This is Star Trek Red Shirts, issue number 3, and this was the 1 in 10 variant by Suspiria Vilches. Suspiria does amazing horror covers, and obviously here we have a transporter malfunction that did something really wrong to the crew members that went through it. And here we have the crew member Red Shirt who witnessed what was left over. Really great cover. So I really love this cover. I was able to pick up a couple of copies. However, this cover does, kind of bring me some sadness when I see it, because Suspiria is another new artist that I just started, paying attention to this year. And she actually put up the original art for this cover on the site. And I saw it, but I didn't have the money at the time. And by the time I was about a week out from being able to buy it, it sold. So I missed out on getting the original artwork for this cover at what I thought was a very reasonable price. As a huge Star Trek fan and, a new fan of Suspiria, I thought it would have been some amazing artwork to own. And unfortunately, I missed out on it. So that's going to be one that's going to be hard for me to get over for a while. Next up, we have Transformers, issue number 16. This cover was done by, I still don't know if it's Homer or Homari. I've heard both of them. Y'all let me know in the comments what it actually is. But we have a great cover of Megatron right here. Obviously not up to full power because he's missing an arm. He's got Laserbeak there because he needs Laserbeak to be his eyes and guide him to where he needs to go so he can get fully repaired. Really fantastic cover by Homer right here. Up next, we have X-Men, issue number 13. Here we have another entry by Miguel Mercado. Really fantastic cover of Psylocke right here. A really great rendition of Psylocke on a motorcycle. Looks really fantastic. Psylocke looks powerful, ready to go to battle. She's got her psionic powers going. And I don't remember this being an FOC book. So I'm assuming that this was a web store or a con exclusive. This is another book that I'm going to have to try and hunt down because I really love this artwork. And Miguel Mercado is one of my favorite artists. So definitely going to be wanting to add this to my collection. Here we have Ghost Pepper, issue number 3. This cover was done by Humberto Ramos. Really great cover right here, guys. We have one of our 2 protagonists, Loloy, right here on the cover, the actual cook of the Ghost Peppers. So this is a series that I'm really happy I stuck with because I did do a review on this on the stream that I did with Kingdom of Nerds. And I remember when we read this that I don't think anybody liked it. But I actually saw some things in there that I saw potential, and I went ahead and picked up issue number 2, and I am so happy I did because issue 2 was such a better read, and I believe they're up to 6 issues out. Everyone has been fantastic ever since issue 1. I need to go back and read issue number 1 now that I have a better understanding of where the story was going to see how it reads now. But, this is just one of those examples that just because issue 1 isn't a good read, it doesn't mean that the whole series is just trash. If you can see some potential in it, give issue 2 a try and see how it goes. After that, all right, if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. But I am so happy I continued with this series. It has been a fun read, and the covers for this series have been fantastic. great cover here by Humberto Ramos. Here we have Star Trek Red Shirts, issue number 2. We have another entry here by Chris Sheehan. So as I said, all the cover A's for Red Shirts were amazing covers. All of them were done by Chris Sheehan. The covers on this series were so good. As far as I know, I picked up every variant for every issue that came out, unless it was a con or web store exclusives. But I plan to go back and check any issues that I missed that came out and see if I can find them now, because this was just a fun read. If you're a Trekkie, you will love it. But there was a lot of people who just picked this up just for the covers because that's how great they were. Up next, we have G.I. Joe, issue number 15. This is a fantastic cover of the Baroness by the amazing Lucho Parillo. This is a perfect example why Lucho has appeared so many times in this list and why he is one of my favorite artists. Amazing cover right here. Here we have Predator versus Spider-Man number 1. This was actually a second printing virgin variant by Ryan Brown. Really great artwork right here, guys. You have Spider-Man and the Predator facing off. This is a great cover, even though all we have is the heads of the two characters on profile, but yet it is a fantastic cover. Ryan Brown put out some really great covers this year, and this is just one of the examples of them. Next up, we have G.I. Joe, issue number 9, and we have another entry right here by Ito. I believe this was a 1:25 ratio, and again, another cover of Ito's that I missed out on. So if you don't know who Ito is yet, if you don't pick up the ratios when they first come out, good luck finding them later, because they are, you can find them, but they're going for a hefty price. Last I saw, and it's been a while since I looked, but this was going for triple ratio. And then there's another cover on here that's going to show up later, and the money that one's going for is insane. But here you have a fantastic cover of the Baroness done by Ito. Next, we have The Exorcism at 1500 pen, issue number 3. This cover was done by Dave Johnson, and here we have a fantastic cover of a demon, the devil, something obviously evil. You got the spotlight coming down from the window above. Really haunting and creepy cover right there. Awesome cover. I was really happy I was able to pick up a few of these. Really great cover right here by Dave Johnson. So here is the cover that I was talking about a few issues back. This is Ghost Pepper, issue number 2. This was a 1:50 ratio by Ito. So at the time, I actually put this cover on my FOC list that I put out on my YouTube channel. But at the time, I was still relatively new to collecting comics, and I was trying to listen to all the experts telling me, oh, nerdy, don't waste your money on ratios. They're not worth it. They don't keep their values. And then I went ahead and took this off of my pull list with my LCS, and I've regretted it ever since, because this was a 1:50 ratio, and ever since it's come out, it's done nothing but go up. You regularly see sales for this on eBay for $2 to $2.50 raw, and if you want to get a 9.8 copy, they're easily going for $350 to $400 all day. So this has just exploded. It is completely out of my price range now. I hope that maybe one day I can find a good deal for it, or maybe I'm able to trade some books for it. But man, I really wish I had kept this on my FOC, because this is a fantastic cover. So this is what I was talking about before. If you can get an Ito cover at close to ratio when it's coming out on a pre-order, pick it up, because if you don't, it could turn out like this one and that Baroness cover, where they just start going for double to 7 times their ratio price. So pick these up, and it's hard to find Ito covers that are actually FOC. They do exist, but there's not a lot of them out there. So pick them up while you can. Next up, we have Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, issue number 1. This is the 1 in 100 Virgin variant by Mark Brooks. And this is a fantastic cover right here, guys. Godzilla looks huge and menacing, and the scale between him and all the heroes over here is very well done. And I love the detail in it because there's a lot going on in this cover. Godzilla obviously takes up the majority of the space on this cover, yet you still have all these other characters around him, but yet there's so much detail that you can clearly tell who all the characters are. And this is also a wraparound cover. So really fantastic cover right here by Mark Brooks. And there also was a trade dress. I did grab both of the Virgin and the trade dress, and I'm really happy I did. Next up, we have The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 9. This cover was done by J. Scott Campbell. So earlier in the year, J. Scott Campbell put out a ton of covers for Marvel called the Just Spectacular Collection, of course, his initials. And what else is J. Scott Campbell famous for other than his Mary Jane covers? This was by far the most popular cover that J. Scott Campbell put out. I did pick up the 1 in 100 Virgin variant, and I did pick up a few of the trades. Really great artwork right here. I did not expect the 1 in 100 to go for as much as it did. And I know I overpaid for it, but I have this thing in my head where I'm not going to buy a comic that I'm going to be upset by keeping, even if the value of it goes down. I've never sold any comics. I'm going to have to soon because I ran out of space, 9 months ago. So every week when my new comics come in, I'm just trying to find spaces to cram them in. I'm constantly building boxes, short boxes for my comics because they come in at like almost a half a short box a week, if not more sometimes. But back to this cover. Really fantastic Mary Jane cover here by the amazing J. Scott Campbell. Here we have Hello Darkness, issue number 15. This cover was done by Miguel Mercado. Really creepy cover right here. This cover just, we've all been there, either up late finishing a paper for school or doing something for work, or a late night gaming session, where all the light we have is all the lights are off and all you see is the light from your monitor. And then I can just imagine being tired, ready to go to bed, and looking down and seeing this look up at you. Really terrifying to think about that. Really great cover here by Miguel Mercado. Next, we have Something's Killing the Children, issue number 43. And we have another fantastic cover here by Suspiria Vilches. This is a great cover of Erica Slaughter. You have the monsters down at the bottom. You have the teeth separating, her face from the monsters. Really great cover right here, guys. As soon as I saw this, I think a month or two before FOC, I literally went to my LCS and say, hey, make sure you pre-order this one for me. I want this one. It is a foil. I was hoping that they would come out with the regular, trade dress cover, but this is the only one that ever showed up. But it is a fantastic cover, and despite the fact that it's a foil, it is a foil that was done well because all the image and the colors just popped off really well. Really fantastic cover. I hope that I get to meet Suspiria one day at a con and get a few of these signed by her and then immediately submitted to CGC because I would love to have this autographed and slabbed. Fantastic cover by Suspiria right here. Next up, we have another Rogue the Savage Land. This is issue number 5, again by J. Scott Campbell. And like I said, J. Scott Campbell did one cover for every issue that came out on FOC. And it seemed like he enjoyed drawing Rogue in this costume so much that he went ahead and started selling 10 or 15 different covers on his web store. And this is one of the better ones. Last I saw, they were still available. Hopefully by next week they are, because I would love to pick this one up and the one that I showed you earlier in the landscape, because these are fantastic rogue covers by J. Scott Campbell. Next up, we have Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, issue number 2. This cover is by David Parator. Really fantastic cover right here. So I am a big fan of Captain America. I love werewolves. I am a big fan of Deadpool. You put all three of them together, it makes it even better. But I am also a big fan of the Capwolf character. And this cover was just fantastic. I did pick up the trade dress. I was not able to pick up the 1 in 100 Virgin variant. I have not kept up with how much they're going for. I don't know how many were printed because this was an issue number 2. So usually you know that the pre-orders drop after issue number 1. But if I can, I would love to pick up this Virgin variant. Hopefully they're going for a decent price. But a fantastic cover of Capwolf versus Deadpool right here. Here we have G.I. Joe, issue number 7. Another fantastic cover by the incredible Ivan Talavera. So Ivan Talavera, just like Jenny Frison, to me, I know him for the faces he does on his character. And this Baroness looks amazing. She looks prepared. She looks confident. You got the desert wind blowing her hair to the side. She's got her, shooting glasses on. Really fantastic cover here by Ivan Talavera. Here we have another cover by Mark Spears. This is Mark Spears Monsters, issue number 4. And this was his Huntsville Comic-Con exclusive or Fan Expo exclusive. Really fantastic cover right here, guys. I love that it says shipped to Alabama and it has the Huntsville Fan Expo sticker on there. Really great cover right here. There seem to be quite a few mummy covers that were done this year, and this was one of the better ones done by Mark Spears. Here we have Red Hulk, issue number 6. This is a 1 in 25 ratio done by Dan Panosian, who was my artist of the year for last year. Last year, Dan Panosian just put out a ton of fantastic covers, especially that Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 1, the 1 in 25 ratio. Just a great cover. And as I've already said in this video, I love werewolves. I love them when they're huge and menacing and just fearsome looking, and that's exactly what we got here by Dan Panosian. Really fantastic cover. So again, this is one that I originally had on my FOC, and then people were telling me don't order too many ratio books, they're not worth it. So I dropped it, and then this book just exploded and was going for 4 to 5 times ratio price. And I thought I would never be able to pick it up, but I kept at it. I kept searching it up on eBay to see if the prices ever dropped, and they really haven't. Last I looked, these are still going for 3 to 4 times ratio, but I was actually able to pick up a very nice copy, and I was able to get it for a little under double ratio, which I was extremely happy to get it at that price. I haven't seen it go for that low ever since. But if I can, I would love to pick up a couple more copies of this. But again, fantastic cover here by Dan Panosian. Up next, we have Supergirl number 1. This cover was done by Alexander Lozano. Really fantastic cover right here. Again, Lozano is just an artist that I did not know about until this year. But it seems like once he showed up, he just kept showing up with all the covers he was doing. This is one that I did not pick up. I want to say this was a web store exclusive, so I missed out on it. I need to go check on the secondary market to see what it's going for, and if I can get it at a decent price, I will be picking this one up. Here we have the Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 1. Another great cover by the legendary Lee Bermejo. And I want to say this was a 1 in 200 ratio Virgin variant. Really fantastic artwork on here though, guys. I love Lee Bermejo's art on Spider-Man. I love how he looks like he's actually wearing a costume, because most of the time Spider-Man looks like he is shrink wrapped into his costume, but Lee Bermejo takes the time to put the wrinkles in there, just gives it a lot more detail, makes it feel really lived in. Great job by Lee Bermejo. And I love how you can see where his fingers are sticking to the glass. You can see his web shooters there on his hands. Just a fantastic cover. Again, I did not pick this one up because it was a 1 in 200, but I have not kept up with the prices. So I need to go see if I can pick this up at a good price. And if I can, I'm definitely going to grab it. Next up, we have Pinup Apocalypse issue number 1. This is the second print 1 in 25 cover by Sveta Sherbina. And again, I could have put up any one or all 5 of Sveta Sherbina's Pinup Apocalypse 1 in 25 ratios, but I didn't want to have all of them on here. So I picked the one that I thought was the best one, and this was a fantastic cover. I was able to pick up all 5 of them, but this one and the first one I only have one copy of because those were really hard to get. The prices actually have come back down to earth because for a while these were going for about 150 and 125 all day. Last I looked, they have dropped to about 50 to 75, but considering their 1 in 25 ratios, that's still pretty good, keeping that price. I did pick up mine for less than ratio, so I'm really happy about that. But just a great example of the pinup style artwork by Sveta Sherbina right here. Next up, we have Marvel Zombies Red Band number 1. This is actually the second print 1 in 25 Virgin variant by Ryan Brown. And as I've said before, Ryan Brown has put out a lot of great creepy horror type covers this year. And this zombified Mr. Fantastic with his mouth stretching out, his hands or his arms wrapped around Spidey, keeping him pinned down, and then his fingers stretched out, wrapping around Spidey's face. If that's not creepy enough, it reminds me of the face hugger from Aliens, which makes it even more creepy and disgusting. But again, fantastic cover here by Ryan Brown. Next up, we have Pop Kill issue number 1. This cover was done by Flops, and whenever this came out, Flops was not somebody that was on my radar. I had not, seen a lot of his artwork, and now that I've seen it, I really like his art style. This is a fantastic cover. I'm pretty sure this is long sold out. I don't know what it's going for on the secondary market. I'll have to check it out. If it's going for a decent price, hopefully I can pick up a copy or 2. And if not, maybe I can find somebody who might want to be willing to trade for the Hello Halloween cover that Flops did, because I was able to pick up a couple of those. So, depending on the price of both books, maybe we can do an even trade, or maybe I can throw in something extra or they can throw in something extra, depending on, what the price difference is. But I would love to get a copy of this cover by Flops. Here we have a fantastic cover of Supergirl issue number 7. This cover was done by Sozo Micah, and this is just a beautiful cover of Supergirl. She looks powerful, she looks pissed off and ready to go to battle. Really fantastic cover. I hope you were able to pick up a copy, because it seemed like if you didn't FOC this book and you didn't try and pick it up till the weekend, they were all gone. Because I know whenever I did a couple of streams and I showed off this book, a lot of people were asking where I got it, and I told them, hey, this was just an open order cover. I want to say it was cover C by Sozo Micah. And then a lot of people were later telling me that weekend that their LCS was sold out and that the distributors were all sold out. Now, you still can find this book on eBay, and you can find it at a good price, like maybe cover price or a little over cover price. So they're not hard to find, but it's going to be hard to find one out in the wild, from what I've been told. It seemed from all my local shops, this sold out everywhere. A lot of people were telling me the same thing. So fantastic Supergirl cover by Sozo Micah. Souza Micah actually comes to a lot of my local cons. So hopefully she comes to one pretty soon and I can take a couple of these over there to get autographed and then sent out to CGC, because this is one I would love to have autographed and CGC certified. Next up, we have Jim Henson's Labyrinth, issue number 6. And this cover was done by Raza. Really fantastic cover right here, guys. I love how it's backlit. I just love I mean, this looks photorealistic. When I showed my wife this, she actually thought this was a photo cover. And I told her, no, this is actual artwork done by Raza. Fantastic cover right here, guys. I love the detail in it. And I love how it almost looks like there's that fairy dust type glow around him. But if you look at it, it actually looks like stars and galaxies, you know, not just dust. Really great detail right there. I really love the look of this cover. For a while, this cover was going for a lot of money. So much that I stopped chasing it, but I need to get back on to see if maybe the prices have come back down to earth. And if I can get this at a decent price, this is definitely one I would love to hunt down. Next up, we have Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 17. This was the 1 in 100 Virgin variant by Ivan Talavera. There was also a trade dress version. I did pick up both. Really happy I did. To show you how amazing Ivan Talavera's artwork here is, this cover was highly sought after when it first came out. A lot of people were talking about it, and it's literally just Mary Jane walking through the streets of New York, drinking I don't know, iced coffee or something like that. And that's it. She's not dressed provocatively. She's just dressed like, you know, a normal person. And yet everybody was wanting this cover. Everybody was hoping to get a copy of it. I'm really glad I did. And it just shows you the amazing artwork that Ivan Talavera is capable of doing. Next up, we have G.I. Joe issue number 16. This cover is done by Carla Cohen. Really fantastic artwork right here, guys. Like I've said before, Carla Cohen and her husband, Lucho Parillo, are both painters. They paint all their covers. Really fantastic, really detailed artwork. I mean, I love her and her husband's work. And this is just another amazing example by Carla Cohen. Here we have The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 7, again by Lee Bermejo. Fantastic cover of Spidey and Black Cat on the cover with him right here. And it's a full moon cover, because I love to pick up full moon covers. It is one of those genres of covers that I just love to pick up whenever I see them. And having a Spidey and Black Cat together on here, done by Lee Bermejo, just makes it even better. Now, I don't know if I'm just a really big Spider-Man fan, because I've noticed I have a lot of Spider-Man covers on this list, but I also noticed a lot of them are done by Lee Bermejo. So maybe it's the Spider-Man fan, maybe it's the Lee Bermejo fan, or maybe it's the combination of them both. But really great cover here by Lee Bermejo. Next up, we have The Question All Along the Watchtower, issue number 3. This cover was done by Lucho Parillo. Really beautiful cover, really beautiful artwork on this. The Question is obviously always, you know, covered up. It's the mystery of who it is. Of course, nowadays we know that the Question is Renee Montoya, and here you actually have the mask, you know, torn off or worn off, so you can actually see her face, but yet the other half is still covered up, almost like a Phantom of the Opera type homage. Really great artwork right here. Lucho Parillo, like I said, one of my favorite artists, and he just did an amazing job with this cover. And finally, we've gotten to my last cover. Here we have Harley Quinn, issue number 56. This cover was done by Raza, and what an amazing job Raza did with this cover. Here you have Harley Quinn with her mallet obviously broken from battle. She's got ninja stars stuck all in it. She actually has one sticking out of her left arm. She's just eating her pizza on the subway, looking exhausted, all beat up. Her costume is all ripped up. She's bloodied. She's got her pizza hanging out, almost touching the floor. She's got rats eating it, but she has no F's left to give. The people on the subway are just looking at her, and she just looks like she's oblivious, or she just doesn't care about anything. She's ready to get home and just decompress from whatever just happened to her. As soon as I saw this cover, this is another one that I made sure that I had on my FOC. And if I ever get to meet Raza at a con, I'm definitely going to make sure I get some of these autographed and sent into CGC, because I really love this cover right here. That's the last cover on my list. So now let's see who my top artists are by appearance on this list. So this first set is going to be artists who only appeared once. So all of these artists had at least one entry in my list this year. You saw all of their covers. This next one, we're going to have more number ones with a few twos. So here we go. And as you see down at the bottom, you have Carla Cohen with two. I am shocked that there's only two. I felt like I had more Carla Cohen covers on there, but then her and her husband artwork is so similar. Maybe whenever I see his artwork and I see her artwork, it just makes me feel like I'm seeing the same person, because their artwork is very similar. But then we also have Chris Sheehan there with two, Flops with two, and Mark Brooks with two. And now we're going to get to my favorite artists based on how many times they appeared on this list. So we have more twos with Mark Spears and Sveta Sherbina. Then we get into the 3-time appearance with Alexander Lozano, Ito, J. Scott Campbell, Suspiria Vilches, and Ryan Brown. And then we get into number 4s with Jenny Frison, Miguel Mercado, Raza. Next up is 5 with Lee Bermejo and Lucho Parillo. And then we have at the top of my list appearing 7 times, and it could have been even more, with Ivan Talavera. So Ivan Talavera is my artist of the year. He put out so many fantastic covers. I just remember every time I saw a cover of his, I made sure to put it on FOC. And if the artwork didn't show up before it was time to FOC, it got to the point where I was going to go ahead and FOC it, whether I saw the artwork or not. So that's how much I loved Ivan Talavera's work this year. So if you're going to make me pick a top 5, I'm going to go with number 1 being Ivan Talavera. Number 2 and 3, you can, if you want to put Lee Bermejo there, I wouldn't go against it. If you put Lucho Parillo there, I would not also go against it. So I'm going to say they're tied at 2 and 3. Pick whichever one you would want. I'm definitely going to put Raza there at number 4. And you would think I would go with Jenny or Miguel, but I'm actually going to go with Suspiria Vilches as my number 5 favorite artist of the year. Despite the fact that she only showed up 3 times on this list, she didn't put out nearly as much work as Jenny Frison and Miguel Mercado. So I am not going to penalize her for only appearing 3 times, because she didn't put out nearly as much work, and yet she still showed up 3 times on my list. And that Something's Killing the Children cover that she did, the Red Shirts cover that she did, the Soundwave cover that she did some really fantastic covers. So that's who I'm going to put at my number 5. So again, Ivan Talavera, Lucho Parillo, Lee Bermejo, Raza, and Suspiria are my top 5 artists of the year. So I appreciate y'all watching. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and visiting my art gallery. I hope you enjoyed the slides. I hope I made this entertaining. I hope you agree with some of my picks. If you didn't agree, let me know in the comments. Tell me, hey, how could you possibly leave this off your list for the top covers? How could this artist not have even had one cover on your list? Let me know. We all miss covers. We're not able to see everything. I try and pay attention to everything, but sometimes comics just slip through the cracks and you don't see them till a few years later. But anyways, please hit the like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. Let me know what you thought of my list. Let me know what you thought of the slides. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a happy new year, and I'll see y'all next time.